Hello, good evening, church family. I am Pastor Dan. I am your new pastor for 2021. I am very excited that I will be here for St. George and Cedar City. And before we see each other more frequently in 2021, I wanted to share this message with you, this Christmas message, because it is important for you and for me to remember what is Christmas all about. And the message for today is based on this period of time. It's called the intertestamental period, which goes around 400 years. And this period starts with the last book of the Old Testament, which, if you remember, that's the book of Malachi. And the message in the book of Malachi is very clear. Judgment is coming. But for those who fear the Lord, the Son of Righteousness will rise. And right after that message, there is this silence from God. There was no more prophets. There was no more messages. There was no more communication from God. And the people of Israel, they thought that if they could do something, if they could look for God, that silence wouldn't be there. But unfortunately, they look in all the wrong places. You see, they started to put rules upon rules. They decided that preserving whatever they could preserve was more important than looking for God. So they thought that their traditions were more important. They thought that defending their own truth was more important. They were looking for ways of preserving whatever they had left. But they didn't understand that there was something more important that they had to do. So for them, all there was silence. And I don't know about you, but perhaps throughout this 2020, with everything that we have experienced, the good and the bad, and the very bad, perhaps we have think that God has been silenced. That He probably has forgotten about us. And we have tried to look for ways of looking or trying to do our best, thinking that perhaps there is something that we can do in order to hear from God. But what we are actually doing is thinking that there is something that we can do to be safe, that we can do in order to preserve the truth, to defend the truth. When in reality, what we have to do is live the truth. And I don't know about you, but God, and I want you to remember this, God He is not in silence. He has not forgotten about you. He has not forsaken you. He has been working constantly. He has not stopped. He has not gotten tired. He has been there. And even in this horrible, very, very bad year that we had, He has been closer than any time before. And God, He always has a way. He always has a way of showing what He's doing. So, after those 400 years, He showed up in the most unexpected way. Through a heartbeat. Tum-tum, tum-tum. The heartbeat of a little baby in the womb. Jesus coming down to earth to live like you and me and to save us from condemnation. And now, you and I know that God's times are perfect. And let me read to you what Galatians chapter 4, verse 4 and 5 says. It says, "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those who were under the law, that we might receive the adoptions also." And I want to emphasize the very first part of verse 4. It says, "When the fullness of the time had come." And I want to change this a little bit, and I want to say, when the fullness of the time will come, God will send his Son again. Now the question for you and me, as we go into the festivities of Christmas and the holidays, is, are we like the people of God who are not ready? Are we trying to preserve, trying to defend, trying to think that the traditions are more important than the truth? Are we really ready? Because when the time, the fullness of the time comes, God will send his Son again. And he will not come back as a baby, but he will come back as Lord of Lords and King of Kings. And you and I, we have to be ready for it. My invitation, my appeal to you as we go into Christmas time is to remember that just like it was prophesied, just like it was mentioned in the Old Testament, and just at the right time, Jesus will come back for you and for me. And what a beautiful and amazing and perfect day that will be. As we look back into everything that we have experienced on 2020, let's remember that God has not been in silence, that God has not forsaken about you, that God has not forgotten about us, but that he is working, even in the midst of perhaps the silence that we think there is. That God has been closer to us than ever before. And that he will send his Son one more time for you and for me. May God bless all of us. May we remember that we're not alone. May we remember that we have to look for him, that we have to look for the truth, that we have to live the truth. And that one day we will see our Savior, Jesus Christ, face to face. Merry Christmas, and may God bless all of us.